Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Guys, welcome to the Habitual Muslim live stream, day 9. Alhamdulillah, we've made it 9 days. Today's the 27th night. It could be Laylatul Qadr. Okay, it could be Laylatul Qadr. Guys, I just got off a live stream of Human Appeal on the Human Appeal YouTube and Facebook pages, and then I went straight to this, and then straight after this I'm doing a live stream on the Freshly Grounded YouTube channel with Spot. It is safe to say I'm absolutely shattered. Alhamdulillah though, you know what, we've got to maximise these times in this day, in this night, you know, we've got to maximise it, and inshallah there will be barakah in the time. Alhamdulillah, it's only 11:30 and we've already done a live stream and we helped out with Human Appeal, and now just because I've got a lot going on, guys, do you think that I would have given up on my community? No, this is my favourite thing, alhamdulillah. Okay, no problem, I understand. I imagine that this live stream will be watched a bit later because obviously it's the 27th night tonight, and also this is going to be a shorter one, but I didn't want to not do it because we were on a roll, guys. We're on a roll, alhamdulillah. So we're going to keep it short and sweet, and we'll speak a bit with the monologue, and then we'll go on to the spinning the wheel once or twice, and then alhamdulillah we'll leave it at that for today, and we'll be back tomorrow inshallah. Assalamu alaikum to everybody who joined the room. Hannah, wa alaikum assalam, you're back. Ruqayya, we've never, I don't think we've seen you here before. Welcome if you're new. Father Sunglasses, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And guys, come on in on the room. If you're new here and you have a question, please write question in capital letters so that I can kind of sift through it a bit easier. And if you have a question on topic, just write the topic in capital letters. And this is basically a live stream where we speak about being more efficient, productive, and better Muslims day by day in whatever way, shape or form. Yeah, so today, being that it's the 27th night, do you know what, guys, it feels nice because I feel like I can be a bit more relaxed when I'm like doing my interviews and stuff, especially ones where, you know, it's like a proper professional one. Like the one I just did was the CEO of Human Appeal, one of the biggest charities, especially probably in the world, and the CEO of that. So I have to be proper, and it's not a fake version of me because I do enjoy that. But with you guys, it's like I'm just at home. You know, you take your socks off, just relax. Okay, the topic quite appropriately today is about the art of giving, and the discussion I want to have with you guys today, alhamdulillah, is okay. So it's about giving, right? So I'm going to start with a few different things because I want it to be not as cliche as kind of a lot of the things that we're going to be seeing today. And I think that the reminder benefits the believer, so there's definitely benefit in talking about why sadaqah is so important in general. But one thing I want to say is just from like a different practical sense, just ways in which I found that generosity, kindness and giving has impacted me in my life. And I want to hear from you guys how it's impacted you guys in your lives. But for the most part, alhamdulillah, I have found that, okay, I had this, I remember when I first started my kind of journey on bettering my management of finances. As you guys know, one of the kind of triggers for that was when I read or when I listened to Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. Again, something that we have to take with a pinch of salt because obviously there's elements in it that just don't gel with us as Muslims. But one of the quotes that he said I think is really important, and he said you have to live like nobody else so that you can give like nobody else. And the idea is that when we are trying to improve our financial situation or trying to improve our financial organization, right? So it doesn't mean trying to increase our money. It might just mean trying to be more effective with where we delegate our money, how we delegate our money, staying on top of our money, keeping a spreadsheet. The reason we need to understand why it's so important is because if you start living like that, like nobody else, right? Where you're managing your finances perfectly, you're keeping spreadsheets, you're keeping an eye on every pound to the point where there's not a pound in your bank account that doesn't have a label on it. That is living like somebody else. That is living like nobody else. Because most people are probably not that stringent. I'm not saying be stingy. I'm not saying be frugal even. I'm just saying be aware of your financial situation. Don't be of those people who you're spending money and you don't know whether you're coming or going. You don't know where you're at with your finances. And the reason you want to live like nobody else in terms of financial organization is so that you can give like nobody else, which means you can just give and give and give. And the reason you can give is because you're on top of your finances. You're aware of everything that's happening. So you're like, so you can be, so that the intention behind managing your finances is that you can use those finances rather than wasting them on things that you don't necessarily want or need, or just spending willy-nilly. You can actually use those to help people, right? And so today we're talking about the art of giving. That was kind of the first part of it. Another part of it is, we know that there's something that we reflected on before, is that sadaqah does not decrease wealth, right? And I said to you guys, try and think of a time where you gave some money and you didn't, right? And you spent money and you felt that money go. You looked at your bank account and you're like, wow, I'm struggling now. It didn't happen, because we know it's a promise that sadaqah does not decrease wealth. And so if anybody tonight is thinking about donating to different charities, or whatever charity that might be, or even like your own private kind of thing, I think it's worth noting that remember that it's not going to decrease your wealth, as long as you do it sincerely and you do it for the sake of Allah. And the third thing I want to say is a type of giving that I think that is really, really cool. And that type of giving is giving to people that A, either don't know you're giving to them, or B, something that's close to your heart. And what I mean by that is, I really do think that we should give to charities. I really do. And I wouldn't be doing a Human Appeal stream just now and a spot one very shortly if I didn't believe in that. I think that it's very important that people can, and organisations can, manage the money that we give, and we can trust them to distribute it in the correct manner. And that's something that I really believe in with spot. Like when you give them the money, you see the school being built. The thing is though, I think there's also an element of giving that we should do on top of the charity, as in paying money to charity, and that's things like just being aware of the situation around you. And one of the examples that Dave Ramsey, for example, gave was, if you hear of a family who's struggling to get by, just anonymously paying their electricity bill. Now obviously there's logistics in that probably won't make sense, but there's ways of doing things like that I think is very special, and I think that's the sweetest kind of gift giving. That's the sweetest kind of giving for me. It's the giving where, and I don't do it enough, but it's the giving where you don't know, or the person doesn't know who it came from, and you just feel content knowing that Allah saw you give it. That is your contentment, and you know it affected their life in a major way, right? So it could be something like, for example, you might have a family or a friend that you know of that for a long time they really wanted to, for example, it doesn't even have to be something that's like really like they're in a state of a really bad situation and they need your help. It could be something that they just really, really want, and that generosity coming from you, would mean the world. So they could have anything like a microwave that they just had for years and years and years. It's all rusty and stuff, and they're like, you know what, I need to, and you just hear them every time you go to the house. Oh yeah, I need to grab a new one. Oh yeah, I need to grab a new one. Imagine one day a new microwave just turns up at their doorstep. I think those kind of givings, and we live in a world now where that kind of giving is so easy, because we've got Amazon Prime, we've got Interflora, where you can deliver flowers, and all these different services where you can just deliver something anonymously as a gift. And I spoke about that a bit on my Instagram today, so that's why I felt passionately about that. But I hope that's given you guys a different perspective on giving, and maybe triggered a thought in your guys' head as to there's someone in my life who I think if I give a specific thing to them, they'll appreciate it. And you know what, I want this just to be between me and Allah, so I want to find a secret way in which I can do that. I think that's really, really important. Let's have a look at some of your guys' comments. How do you balance between extra charity and your wants? That's a really, really good question, man, and I don't think I'm the best person for it to answer it. So I'm going to put it first of all to the people in the chat and say, do you guys have any answers to that question? And secondly, if I was to give an opinion, I would probably say that it's definitely not wrong to get yourself things that you want, and definitely not wrong to get yourself things that you need. But I think that you always should be able to justify it, right? and it makes it more special when you get yourself things for a reason. When you complete a certain task, you complete a certain goal on Eid, for example, and stuff like that. And if you do that often enough, then there'll be times in between that where you don't feel the need to get yourself the thing that you don't need but you just want, right? So save those special, so always get yourself the things that you need, because you have right upon yourself to provide yourself with the things that you need, right? But if we're talking about things that you just want and there's not really a benefit that's going to make a huge difference, but you just really want it, like for example, I was speaking to I think Sam about these like designer eyeglasses that I wanted to get, right? But really I have a pair of glasses, I can't justify ever getting myself those, perhaps as a gift for myself for Eid. And I suppose that would be my opinion. I've got to keep an eye on the time today because of the night and because of the stream that we're doing with Freshly Grounded. I hope you guys transfer over to the Freshly Grounded stream, inshallah, too, actually. We're going to have Muslim Bilal, Abu Bakr Islam, we're going to have Kareem on there from Freshly Grounded, who works on a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and inshallah a few others as well. Man, how are you guys doing? I'm absolutely flat out. I'm flat out already and it's only 11:40, but I'm really looking forward to 12:30, less than an hour, because at 12:30 I'm shutting down all operations and I'm just focusing on me and Allah. Inshallah, if Allah allows me to live that long, I'm really looking forward to that. Not that I don't love doing this kind of stuff, I really do, and that's why I'm still doing it now. But I think that there's something that I heard, and I'll probably mention it on Freshly Grounded soon as well, but it was one of Tim Humble's lectures that he gave recently on AMAU, and he said there's this qaida, right, like this principle in Islam, where you should worship Allah. He said worship Allah, so that's one thing, and be beneficial to the people, secondly. And he put and so he said that he mentioned this principle and this qaida together, like worship Allah and be beneficial to the people. So if you're worshipping Allah, worship Allah, and I think for me the connotations in that came like worshipping Allah to the best of your ability, doing acts of worship. But in that sentence he said and also be as beneficial as you can to the people. So I'm not saying I'm being beneficial to the people right now, I'm not saying that, but my point is it's nice to make sure that you take time out for yourself to be selfish today. But if you're able to help a charity, if you're able to inspire in some way, do that too, you know, but do take time out and be selfish today, because today's one of those days where you can and you should. But I think everything in life is worth balance, and our deen is the thing that's perfectly balanced for us, and the fact that our deen tells us that, you know, is such an amazing thing. So okay, we got some answers from the brother. Omar is back. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Never misses a stream, as Productive Vlogs has told us. So Productive Vlogs asked earlier, how do you balance between extra charity and your wants? And we've got some nice answers here. So Father Sunglasses says you can have an order. So for example, first time charity, next time something for yourself, then charity, then yourself, and so on. I like that. That's really good. And again, that goes with kind of the idea of balance. I really like that. That's nice. Tahir says, I guess you can try and make charity something that you want to do for the sake of Allah, of course. Hafsa, you can set up a direct debit with charities for consistent charity giving. Then when you get something extra, e.g. saving money or a bargain, bonus, then you can give something extra additionally. Great advice. Alhamdulillah. Right. Okay guys, let's spin the wheel once or twice. And then inshallah, it was nice to check in with everyone. And then inshallah we can get back to it properly from tomorrow, bi'idhnillah. I do have one question that I'm going to start asking from now over the next few days, so that I can start gathering answers in my head. And that question is this: once Ramadan is over, my intention is to carry on the streams. What time makes sense for the streams? Now I know what time makes sense, and I want those who are watching this on repeat, because I know a lot of people will be watching this on repeat, as right now they're probably making the most of their evening in other ways. If you are watching this on repeat, comment below on the video. What time do you think is the best time for us to do this live stream on a day-to-day basis outside of Ramadan? I know that the simple answer is the evenings, because that's when everyone's at home, nobody's at work, once things go back to normal. But the dilemma I'm currently facing is that I would like to have this set up in my office, which means it would only be 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, and probably have to be between 9 and 5, which really sucks, because that makes no sense, because between 9 and 5 everyone's busy. The other reason is that I normally go to bed outside of Ramadan by like 10:30, 11. So I'm just trying to figure out, maybe it's like a 9 p.m. till 9:30 every day we do here in my house still. We keep it in the house. But let me know your thoughts and we'll discuss that inshallah over the next few days. Okay, let's spin the wheel. Oh man, I'm thirsty. My water is not ready for me. Productivity. Okay, great. Okay, so for productivity today, I think that will make it appropriate for today, and that is the thing I'm going to talk about today is priorities. I really need some water. I've just done a massive stream and now I'm tired. I'm not tired, but I'm thirsty, man. Bismillah. Father Sunglasses says, whatever time it is, we'll be there. Android topic, early mornings. 9 p.m. sounds good if that's easy for you. Yeah, 9 p.m. Okay, cool. So I think 9 p.m. makes sense. I've just got to figure stuff out on my end. I don't want to take, too much time away from family and stuff. But 9 p.m. could be possible. A 9 p.m. till 9:30 p.m. Stream every evening. We can make that work. Okay, so on the topic of productivity, my go-to thought, kind of as soon as it landed on that, was priority and prioritizing. We're in a night tonight where every second is worth so much potentially, if it's Laylatul Qadr. And generally every second is worth a lot because we're in the month of Ramadan, and that we know for sure. And if that's the case, we have to prioritize. So we have to change our priorities at different times. And so an example is, today we're keeping the stream short. And that's the priority. The priority list is, we want to maximize our ibadah, and first of all, what we can do is we can try and see everything we do as an ibadah, right? Everything. There's a way to see everything that you do as an ibadah. How are you benefiting yourself for the sake of Allah in what you're doing? Even if you're eating some food, even if, as we know, I don't want to give the wrong hadith or narration, and one that comes to my mind is a narration about giving, like, even putting a morsel of food in your wife's mouth is a charity. But I want to clarify, if anybody knows the actual narration, that's super important. And I'll try and research that inshallah before tomorrow. But the point is that we can see everything, even if we just see cleaning our house. If we change our intention that we're cleaning our house to serve our families, that's an act of worship. With that being said, I think tonight is a night where we try and do as much direct act of worship in a sense of dua, Quran and salah. And because we know that things like salah are very heavy with acts of worship. They're very strong acts of worship, right? So if we want to prioritize that, even though doing something like a stream or cleaning the house might be an act of worship, generally, if we get our intentions right, we prioritize nights like tonight to do kind of the other type, right? Perhaps the more direct ones. And so the way we do that is by shortening our time, maximizing our time, preparing as much as we can in advance. So preparing this stream and this topic, I prepared this topic earlier on. I think I actually prepared it yesterday to make sure that I wasn't kind of panicking on the spot, so I can maximize my time. So I think productivity wise, changing your priorities and going with the kind of the motion of what's happening in your life or at the time, and adapting things, that's a really good productivity tool, I think. Alright, we'll have one last spin of the wheel, guys, and then I'm going to leave you guys to it. I wanted to keep this stream at 20 minutes. We've done 18 so far, so I'm quite happy with that, alhamdulillah. What's weird is that because I know the stream has to be quick, I start speaking quicker and I already talk fast. And so it just becomes it's like watching it on 2 times speed. So then I start getting thirsty because my throat starts hurting. Okay, we've learned the Ramadan reflection. I think that's perfect. Alhamdulillah, we're towards the end of Ramadan. So my Ramadan reflection is as follows. We're coming to the end of Ramadan, and Ramadan is a time where you can feel the barakah. And you can't tell me you don't feel it, because I know you do. I know you can feel it, and I can feel it. And the sad thing is that's going to be over soon. And we don't know if we're going to make it to the next one. But my Ramadan reflection today is use that to try and really make the most out of the next few days and the next few nights. Just make as much dua, and benefit yourself as much as you can. Worship Allah as much as you can, because we're in the final bit now, and I think a big thing that we normally see is that on the 27th night, we see normally that the masajid are packed. And then you go to the 28th and 29th nights, and the masjids are empty. And Ramadan's not over yet. And the barakah we've been feeling, for the last 26 days, it may not have been Laylatul Qadr in those days, but we still maximized our days. So why do we almost after the 27th night take a huge dip? We shouldn't. We should maximize every second of Ramadan. And that is my Ramadan reflection. Alhamdulillah, we have hit 20 minutes, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you so much for your comments. Obviously, today's been a bit slower with the stream, with the comments, but I appreciate all of you for joining me. I understand that a lot of you guys are going to want to watch this kind of on replay a bit later on. Do comment below your opinions. I think 9 p.m. seems to be the shout right now, and we will see you again tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.